It was the morning of June 3rd, 1998, a day that began like any other across the green plains of northern Germany. The skies were clear, the air calm, and the Intercity Express 884, known as Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, was slicing through the countryside at 200 kilometers per hour. On board were nearly 300 passengers, business travelers, families, students, all heading north toward Hamburg. To many Germans, the ICE was more than a train. It was a symbol of progress, precision, and pride. The world saw it as a triumph of modern engineering, a machine that promised speed without danger. But beneath one of its carriages, hidden in the smooth hum of steel and wind, was a flaw, a silent fracture growing inside a single wheel. The wheel had been designed with a rubber damping ring, a brilliant idea meant to reduce noise and vibration. But engineers hadn't fully understood how metal fatigue would behave under the constant stress of high-speed travel. Over time, microscopic cracks began to spread within the steel rim. On that morning, after years of service and thousands of journeys, the crack finally reached its breaking point. At 10:59 a.m., just outside the small town of Eskedy, the wheel shattered. In an instant, a shard of steel flew upward and smashed through the floor of the carriage. It tore into the seating area, narrowly missing passengers, then ricocheted off the train's undercarriage. No one realized that the real danger had just begun. That piece of steel lodged itself into a rail switch, a mechanical lever that guides trains from one track to another. As the ice thundered past, the damaged switch suddenly moved, splitting the train's path. The first cars followed one track, the others veered off in another direction. The result was catastrophic. At full speed, the carriages twisted and derailed, throwing tons of metal and glass into the air. The bridge above the tracks, weighing more than 300 tons, collapsed directly onto the moving train. Within seconds, local residents heard a sound like thunder rolling through the valley. A deep, terrible roar, followed by silence. When emergency crews arrived, what they found defied belief. 11 train cars were scattered across the field. Some were folded in half. Others were buried beneath concrete and debris. Survivors stumbled out, dazed, covered in dust and blood. Many never made it out at all. 87 people lost their lives that morning, and more than 100 were injured. It was, and remains, Germany's worst ever rail disaster. The wreckage lay smoldering for hours as rescue teams worked to free trapped passengers. But the magnitude of destruction was beyond comprehension. The investigation that followed was relentless. Engineers combed through every fragment of the train and every inch of track. What they discovered was shocking. A design flaw that had been known but underestimated. The wheel's internal rubber layer caused stress points that grew invisible cracks inside the steel. These fractures could not be easily detected through regular inspections. In the pursuit of comfort and silence, safety had been compromised unknowingly, fatally. The tragedy forced Deutsche Bahn to act immediately. Every train using that wheel design was pulled from service. The company redesigned its wheels, changed its inspection systems, and completely overhauled the safety standards of high-speed rail across Europe.